actually very rare and very frequent. You only get one or two a century in a particular galaxy. Because the universe is so vast, we can see a few hundred each year. So that'll be enough information for astronomers to look at supernova in detail and come up with a brand new theory, and hopefully we'll be talking about that very soon.
Hello, Ghosh. You're listening to the newsroom from the BBC World Service. A reminder of the main news. A survey's found that levels of malnutrition in Sudan are much worse than feared, and we can hear more about that report now because the conflict in Sudan has been called the world's forgotten war. It began last April when a rebel group known as the Rapid Support Force took up arms against the national government. Now, after a year of fighting, the medical charity Doctors Without Borders says that it's found a third of the people in one refugee centre were malnourished. Kisma is one of the people now living in Zamzam camp. She lost 3 of her children in the space of 4 months due to illness and a lack of food. The situation there, she says, is desperate.
Because I have another boy, I came with him here. People are exhausted, bewildered and hungry. They are all suffering from hunger. This is why they came here. People live on borrowing today to pay back tomorrow. This is how they survive. Our conditions are not allowing us to visit the doctor. We are all the same, just living like this.
Well, Barbara Plett-Usher joins us now. Barbara, I know you've been speaking to local journalists who've been into these affected areas. What did you learn from them?
Yes, we had heard that there was this nutrition crisis in the camp, and we were dealing with Doctors with Borders who were screening children and breastfeeding pregnant women to see what the levels were like. And so we contacted a local cameraman to see if he could go and speak to some of the people involved in what was going on. And the results were many sad stories, like the one you just heard there from Kisma. About children who were sick, children who had died, children with alarming levels of malnutrition. And this is something that Doctors Without Borders had done a mass screening a couple of weeks ago, and they got the results this week, and they found that a third, so around 30% of children under 5 were acutely malnourished, as well as that amount of women, which they say is a really alarming thing, because it's double the threshold for what they would call a nutrition emergency. And we also heard a little bit about why things are so catastrophic in this camp.
What is being done? Because we know that access to these affected areas is very difficult to get. Is international aid getting through?
Well, it hasn't been, and that's been the problem, which is a problem for all of this region, but especially for those who are in displaced people's camps, because they rely completely on humanitarian aid in order to survive. And there hasn't been any in this camp since about May last year. World Food Program used to bring in convoys to distribute there. They haven't come through.